It's going to take the public and public sentiment to push it. And unfortunately, we live within a capitalist system that too often is capitalizing on the addictions of the populace. So when we talk about Elon Musk, when we talk about Jeff Bezos, we talk about the pandemic. What we saw during the pandemic are people who were at home quarantining, trying to protect one another because the government was mandating that we couldn't go outside, we couldn't do certain things. They were still spending money on Amazon. They were still apparently at some point buying Elon Musk's Teslas. And what we do know is that they had enough money to build rocket ships to go into outer space. What we do need, though, is a public sentiment that's going to push elected officials to better regulate. Right now, we see the war in Russia and with Russia and Ukraine that has taken up oil prices, though we don't see a decrease in production. Right now, what we continue to see is because of that is rising grocery prices, which is affecting the poor and the middle class. I'm right here in Miami, Florida, and every day I look out on the water and I see these billionaires with yachts and millionaires with big boats. And I often wonder and ask myself, as a descendant of slaves, how many slaves are there that it takes in order for them to be able to have those boats? And I say it from this standpoint. We're working really hard and we're working harder in this country. We have this great resignation that we've seen where people are tired of the way that they're being forced to work longer hours, unable to spend as much time with their families and being able to reimagine those things because of the pandemic. But what we also see is the government in the pockets of everyday Americans is that as hard as they're working, as soon as they make the money, most of the money is going out of their pockets because it's going back into the government. What we did also hear during the pandemic was a lot of people argue and say, well, they're just giving money back to people. They weren't giving people back money. They were giving them their own money back. So in order to change this, we have to change the whole fabric of the way that we think within this capitalist system where it can benefit and still help those businesses to be able to produce and be able to create jobs. But too often we put too much emphasis on the stock market and we see these very same companies, these billionaire companies, cut and shave in order to give more money to their stockholders and not enough in terms of protecting the everyday workers. So that's why. So we've seen this transfer of wealth, but 100 years ago, we saw the same thing happen.